Now let's take the arms back along the sides of the body. And what you're going to do is roll over to one side, tuck your right hand underneath your hips, and then roll over to the right side, tuck your left hand underneath the hips to give yourself a little bit of support, a little bit of padding. And then you can rest the chin or the forehead down onto the floor, whichever you're more comfortable with. We're going to take a alternating half locust, we'll call it. So you're going to inhale, lift just the right leg up, and reach back through the toes. Try to lengthen that leg as much as you can. Exhale, lower it down. And then other side, inhale, lift the left leg up, reach out through the toes, through the ball of the foot, exhale, lower it down. So a few more times like that. Inhale, that leg just floats up off the floor. Exhale, release. Trying to keep the upper body as relaxed as you can. And try to see how your lower back feels as you lift that leg. So you might find that you're more comfortable keeping the leg a little bit lower and just focusing on lengthening. If the lower back feels okay, try to really activate the glutes and the hamstring. Right down the back of the leg, make those muscles work. We'll take 2 more breaths here, so 1 more lift on each leg. Exhale. Nice deep breath in between. So now we'll come back over to the right leg, and this time we're going to hold a bit longer. The same sequence. We'll inhale, lift the leg up, and think about lengthening. Holding that leg up there, and trying to keep with that smooth breath. If you feel any strain here, keeping that leg lifted, feel free to come back to that sequence where you inhale, lift, exhale, lower. We'll take 1 more inhale. On your exhale, slowly lower the right leg. And then coming over to the left side, we'll use our inhale, lift the leg up, reaching out through the toes, trying to spread the toes out. Checking in with your neck and your shoulders. Make sure that you're not adding any tension into the upper body. One more inhale, lengthening. On your exhale, release. We'll untuck the arms, send them straight out front, and then wiggle the hips from side to side. On your next inhale, bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, press yourself up to your table. Exhale, walk back into child's pose. Now gently roll from side to side in your child's pose. You can let your forehead roll left and right to loosen up the neck. Hips sway from side to side. Coming back into the center, walking fingertips away from you. Nice and long in your child's pose. We'll take an inhale, come up into table, and then curl the toes underneath. Then you can exhale back into down dog. On your next inhale, step the right foot up in between the hands. And then this is where we're going to take our block and just bring it on the inside of the right foot for a little bit of extra support if you need it. Actually, you're going to come just a little bit farther in front. Let's say in line with the right toes. And then walk the fingers up. You can either have the hands on the mat or you can take the hands on the block. And then you're just going to take an exhale and slowly let the right knee roll out to the side. So as that knee comes out, you're going to roll toward the pinky toe side of the foot, toward that outer edge. And you'll start to feel an opening in the hip. So if you're comfortable here and you want to come down farther, you can drop the left knee down if you need some support, or you can just drop down onto the forearms on the block. Just be really careful. Make sure that your hip is okay with this. This is a really intense hip opener. leg, you can always stay up in your high lunge and just think about sinking the hips straight down. You're still getting into the hip joint with that one. Let's take one more breath here. On your inhale, walk yourself up onto the hands. Pull the right knee in toward the center. Move that block out of your way. And we'll take an inhale, step up toward the top of the mat. Exhale, fold over and forward bend. Your next inhale, come halfway up. Draw the shoulder blades together. Exhale, release. Now softening the knees, take your inhale, sweep up to mountain. Exhale, drop the hands down. And then with your next inhale, let's draw the left knee up toward the chest. And then just get your balance here. Spread your right toes out. Get that little grip with the right toes on the floor. Pick a spot on the floor to gaze at. Find your drishti point, your gaze. So you can either stay here with the knee bent, or if you want, take an inhale. Try to straighten that leg. Make sure that the hips stay even. Don't let the left side of the hip drop down. And if you want, you can even keep that foot maybe an inch or two up off the floor. If you want, you can press the toes on the floor for more support, but try and make the muscles do most of the work to hold the weight of the leg up. I'll take an exhale, drop that leg down. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. And then exhale, forward bend. We'll come over onto the left side. With an inhale, send the right leg back. Come into our high lunge. And grab a hold of that block. So put the block just about even with the toes. A little bit farther in front of the foot. And then you can either take the fingertips onto the mat, you can take the hands onto the block. On your exhale, I'll show you guys from the front. Start to roll the knee out toward the side. You come toward that pinky toe side of the foot. You can think of this as like a lifted pigeon. We're going for that same external rotation in the hip that we take in pigeon. If you feel like you're struggling with your balance at all here, you can drop your right knee down. You can rest the top of the right foot onto the floor. You want to come a little deeper into that hip. You're going to sink down onto the block. And focus on your breath here. And try not to resist that opening in the hip. Sometimes that hip opening is so intense that we try to kind of pull back from it. And we never want it to be painful, but that intense stretch, you kind of have to talk yourself into being okay with it. So one more deep breath. And your inhale, start making your way back up onto the palms of the hands. We'll roll the left knee in towards center. Take the block out of the way. Get the hands down. Use our next inhale to step the right foot up to meet the left foot. Inhaling, coming halfway up. Exhale, forward bend. Soft knees, next inhale, sweep up to mountain. Exhale, the hands to the heart. And then we're going to take the right knee up. Now establishing that line of support through the left leg. Feeling all the left thigh muscles pulling right in toward the bone, nice and active. The sole of the foot is pressing down into the floor and the toes are just doing a light grip. Fix your eye gaze on one point on the carpet. And then you can either stay here, keep the knee bent, or if you want to come a little bit farther, try and straighten that leg. And immediately you're going to feel those quadricep muscles really start to talk to you. You're working hard here to keep that leg lifted. Take one more inhale, lifting the leg. Exhale, release. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive down into the legs. Now grab a hold of that block. We're going to take the hands onto the small sides of the block. So it's, softening the knees. We're going to take an inhale, scoop ourselves up, reach the block up over the head. On your exhale, take a side bend over to the right, keeping pressure with the hands, kind of squeezing the block in between your hands. So you'll find that since we have both the arms up and we're keeping that pressure between the hands, you can maintain a little bit more length through this side of the body. If we drop the arm, we kind of get like a little crunching down here. So you can get a fuller breath in your side bend like this. On your inhale, pull yourself back up, soften the knees, exhale, forward bend. Inhale, keeping those knees soft. We'll scoop ourselves back up, scoop that block up over your head. Exhale, side bend to the left. And as you inhale, think about lengthening through the left fingertips and feel that travel down into the waist. Keep the left side of the ribs and the lungs open. Inhaling, coming back up to center. On your exhale, soften the knees as you dive down into forward bend, and then you can release that block. Now, one more time, we'll soften the knees, take an inhale to sweep up to mountain. And this time, for mountain, we're going to interlace the fingers and extend the first finger to come up into steeple pose. And then we're just going to start to make little circles on the ceiling with those fingers. Around. Now as the circle starts to get bigger, you're going to feel the shoulders and the upper body kind of following you. And then gradually, the circle gets a little bit bigger, and you'll start to feel the hips going the opposite direction as your arms to make a little counterbalance for you. Just being careful as you come into the back half of that circle, making sure that you don't overextend the spine. Now starting to make the circles a little bit smaller. And then as the circle tightens up, you find that the hips kind of come back into center, and then you're just isolating that movement in the shoulders and the arms. Back up into the center, reaching the fingertips up.